are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. Appreciate all you guys locking in with us on the Woodward Sports Network. Victory Monday. Another Lions where we were thinking about, Broder texted me earlier today and was like, we potentially could have 2 victory days in 1 week. We had that earlier this year one time, the Thursday night game and the Sunday. I think that was the Packers week, Thursday night football. And we potentially can have it again. And guess who it is again on Thursday? The Packers, baby. We actually, too. I'm not going to say who it is.
This could be freaking awesome.
It's confirmed. The date and the time is not yet. That's what we're waiting on. That's before I say it. We have a huge guest coming up in the next 2 days.
Unpredictable, unexpected.
Yes. I'm going to give him a hint. It is one of the bigger Packer fans in
the world.
In their
definitely has
franchise.
A following.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest.
Yeah, that person.
And it is confirmed, but just the date and time yet, so we're not going to announce it.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Huge.
What?
Huge.
Yeah, he's huge.
All right, let's get into it.
Huge. Jared Goff.
He is. Hey, hit that like button too. That's also
massive.
huge. If you guys hit that like button, that's big as well. But someone's saying it's Grassi.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Oh, is that the dude who he films himself? It's not reacting to the games, but he like makes Packer skits after. The last couple I've seen have been about the Lions. I gotta look for some Grassi.
Oh, I see it here. No, actually, the person's bigger than Tom Grassi. I just looked up Tom Grassi. Bigger than Grassi.
Tom Grassi's the American Degrassi.
Yeah.
Drake, back to back.
I haven't seen the person's name in there yet, so no one's guessed it right. If you guys put it in there, we're not going to tell you until we get it confirmed. Yeah. Jared Goff, though, fellas.
Yeah, JG.
Mixed emotions yesterday going through this game with that. We have a couple videos here. I think we have 2 or 3. Dan Campbell spoke about it. You have a video from Taylor Decker, it looks like. Jared Goff spoke about kind of what it means that game yesterday, throwing 3 interceptions and being able to bounce back. You don't see that a lot from NFL quarterbacks. You really don't. You usually 3 interceptions, like you saw Josh Allen just a couple of weeks ago throw 3 picks when we were sitting here watching the game on the show, and he just could not figure out a way to turn the game around. Jared Goff was able to throw 3 interceptions and go win a football game somehow with the best offense in the NFL. First video I want to play here, Broder, before we really dive into it. I want to hear Jared Goff talk about this because he spoke about being a leader on this team and what it means when you do throw 3 interceptions, what it is about. Because at the end of the day, I still believe the Booner path is real and they can go to the Super Bowl, and this is why. Is a guy like Jared Goff leading this team. So here's Jared Goff.
My job is so much greater than how good I do. It's so much greater than what my stats are or how many touchdowns I can throw. It's about being there for my teammates and being the best I can be on every play and throughout the game. And even when things aren't going my way, I'm not playing as well as I'd like to early on. How do I find a way to kind of center myself back to what my true job is to be my best on every play and do everything I can for my teammates.
There you have it. I mean, you heard him right there. Jared Goff is a leader of men. Like, he is like that, Broder. And you spoke about that in all of your articles all year. Everything that Jared Goff is about, we saw yesterday. Throwing those interceptions, adversity. There was that stat earlier this year where every time he threw an interception, came back with a touchdown. Everything went wrong for that man yesterday, and he found a way to lead this football team, get everyone together and say, like, I get it. I'm the leader of this team. I need to step up. I need to be better. He did it, Broder. That's your guy.
That's my guy. He had that short memory. We talked about him, the Ted Lasso quote about the happiest animal in the world is a goldfish because it's got a 10-second memory. Jared Goff did just that. And the thing that impressed me about Jared Goff, and this is more of a feeling, I want to see if you guys felt the same way, as much as he struggled, as much as he threw some bad balls, those 3 interceptions were huge. It didn't feel like when he came back out on the field that there was any concern sort of coming from him. Like he was as calm, as collected, as stable as if he hadn't thrown those interceptions, as if the game was going perfectly. It didn't seem like they were missing a beat. Just those passes that he threw that were picked off were ugly. They were bad. But without that, it felt like Jared Goff having that calming force, like that's everything that, especially an offense that relies on timing, relies on these guys all being in the right areas, the right spots. They need that. They need to feel that. Can you imagine in Ford Field, you're losing to an NFC North rival, and your quarterback's freaking out, or he's stressing all of you out. You don't have confidence in him. But Jared Goff, it seemed like he had such a command of that offense, whether they were up by 14-10, up by 4, or down by 12. It was the exact same Jared Goff, and then that's what you saw on that very last drive. Actually, both of them, right at the end of the first half, but especially at the end of the game. It was just right down the field. Let's chug along. First play, hand off to David Montgomery.
Yeah.
The crowd boos. It doesn't even matter. Next play, he starts picking them apart. Jahmyr Gibbs had a couple big catches that extended for first downs. Amon-Ra St. Brown had some huge ones. He got Sam Laporta involved at the end. It just felt like when they needed it, all the players came together and played well, and that you can talk about Jameson Williams too, like that mentality of whether you're catching 2 balls a game, 10 balls a game, like be ready for your moment. Those guys are all ready.
That's the thing too with this team, and like yesterday's game, they had 4 turnovers on offense, or 1 was on special teams, but they had 4 turnovers. They still offensively, they still scored 29 points. You still scored 29 points on offense, and that was
31.
Well, the safety was.
Oh, I got you.
29 points. Like
you're right.
The offense goes out there and gives you 29 points still.
Yeah.
You still are out there competing, and you're still putting points up, and you had 4 turnovers. That's 4 right there. Me and Easy were talking in the back about if you don't have those turnovers, like how many touchdowns does the defense get. Like we were having that conversation about the defense. But really, if you don't have 4 turnovers and your offense keeps the ball 4 more possessions, this offense, the best offense in the NFL, the most explosive offense in the NFL, they give you 14 more points. You're sitting there with over 40 points if you don't have 4 turnovers yesterday. And they still found a way to get 29 points and win the football game with 4 turnovers. And that's, at the end of the day, like at that second half in that fourth quarter, big credit to Jared Goff being able to step up and say, hey, let's get the ball to these guys, make a dime throw right to J-Mo. The pass to the touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown, sneaking it in 2 guys. Just being able to cut the offense up.
Sneaking it in 2 guys.
I do think there was a part too, and this isn't. I think there was a part to where they just weren't a stat like some forcing pass plays, force, instead of just like let's get the ball to D-Mont, let's get the ball to
It's
D-Mont,
funny.
let's give it to Jahmyr. That's what to me. No one really talked about it. That's how I felt a little bit, to where there was like a 3rd and 2 where we passed the ball, incomplete punt, and it was like, why aren't you just giving the ball to D-Mont? He's getting 5 a play.
Yeah, it's funny that I think it was his second interception when he was targeting Donovan Peoples-Jones. This. Again, maybe I'll relate it to Jameson Williams and just needing time to get it, build a relationship with Goff, build trust with his offensive teammates. That second interception targeting Donovan Peoples-Jones, he actually hesitated for a second. I can't remember if he pump faked or just hesitated, but he was about to throw it to Malcolm Rodriguez. And at the very last second, he pulled it back and then threw it to Donovan Peoples-Jones, and the timing was way off.
That was not his fault, by the way. That Donovan Peoples-Jones one, that that was tipped like in. It moved. It got to. That was like a huge tip.
100%. Yeah, it's not Malcolm Rodriguez's fault either.
No.
It's not. I mean, technically, you could say it's not Jared Goff's fault. It was tipped at the line. It was one of those things like the fact that it was the newest player to that offense, even newer than Jameson Williams. He had to hesitate and looking for Donovan Peoples-Jones, who also he's still trying to get in a rhythm with. So you can see how Jameson Williams, although he only had 2 catches, and we're going to talk about him next segment, building up that relationship with them is huge. And but the last thing I'll say, or I'll send it back to you, but I think we learned, and I learned about this about Goff. Goff yesterday, that the Detroit Lions, they go as Jared Goff goes. Like if Jared Goff is faltering, so are the Lions, and if he's excelling, the Lions are really soaring, and that's what I think makes him. I got to rethink this contract situation, MVP. Like, this is what makes him indispensable. And I think this game proved it the most. When he doesn't play well, that whole team has a big problem.
He is a very valuable piece of this football team.
Yes.
You saw it yesterday. When he was playing bad, the whole team was and when he stepped up, the team came back and they won the game. Jalen, you got something on Jared Goff?
He went 0-30 mode. He locked in. You got a lot of players in the NFL, quarterbacks, who throw 3 picks, they can't come back and win those games. If Allen, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, they scored 14 points in 4 minutes. A 2-minute drill, let alone, is hard to do as a quarterback. So seeing Jared Goff do that, he's not the fast, he's not a flashy quarterback. He's real, calm. He's not gonna scramble. He's in the pocket, and he went 11 for 14 in the fourth quarter.
I think I think in the last 2 drives, I believe he went 10 for 11.
Yeah, so he only had 3 incompletions the whole quarter. You know what? If any quarterback can do that, what's his name? Mahomes, Allen, or like that. They're elite quarterbacks. He's an elite quarterback, just not the flashiest. You know, he's not in the media and stuff like that. But that's our guy, and it's a rival game. It's the Bears. You know, they're not the best team in the league, but it's a rival game. You were down by 2 touchdowns with 4 minutes to go. If he can do that against them, I'm pretty sure if the going gets tough in the playoffs, you can trust that guy. He had a rocky start, but you won the game.
Adversity.
If you finish it, you can throw 4 picks first half and still win the game or something like that. As long as you finish the game, get it done. That's our quarterback. That's our guy. You can't get mad at Jared Goff, and I think that proved how elite and mature Jared Goff has grown over the last couple years.
Yeah, let him cook. I think it speaks volume about kind of the player he is going through adversity like that. To Jalen's point too, in regards to the 2-minute drill there, he didn't just do one 2-minute drill at the end. He did back-to-back 2-minute drills, and he did a 2-minute drill at the half to go get a Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. He had 3 2-minute drills within that game basically, and those are tough. Like that's tough. Like you're going go. And he did it 3 times to go score 3 touchdowns. 21 of those 26 points or 29 points that the offense scored were 2-minute drills, and he went out there and dominated. And when the times got tough, turned around. And I get, like, we could criticize those 3. Like, you can't throw 3 interceptions.
No,
you have to clean that up. Jared Goff, he's had these weird lapses throughout the year to where it's like when he does throw an interception, it feels like in a couple possessions or in the next game, there's one to follow. And you kind of want him. You're just sitting there waiting for him to go back to that 8-2 stretch where he sat there and he ended up. Oh, DeAndre Swift going down for a touchdown.
Man, he was cooking, wasn't he?
But that stretch where he went for 12 straight games or whatever it was with no interceptions. I don't know the exact number. You're just waiting, like, please, we hope this stretch starts right now, heading into the end of the year in the playoffs. Like, Jared, like, just take care of the ball going forward because you saw how good the team is when he does that.
Yeah, I don't mind an interception here or there because I think that means he's pushing the ball down the field a little more. They're throwing it a little bit more than he did during that stretch. But you're right, you can't have 3. And let's be clear, I don't mean to say that the Bears defense is good, but they played well yesterday, and especially that secondary. Tyreek Stevenson, their worst cornerback, he had the first pick of the game. They were playing well, and he managed to do that against a defense that had a very good game, at least up until midway through the 4th. So. Yep.